My buddy Dave called me last Tuesday. He was so worked up he could barely get the words out. 2 years ago, he sold his diesel for 44 grand. Last week, he watched that exact same truck, same trim, more miles, sitting on a dealer lot marked 28. He wanted to know what happened. I told him the truth. Nothing happened to his truck. Something happened to the market. Diesel demand is sliding, fuel prices are falling, and a wave of trucks is hitting the used lots at numbers we have not seen since before the pandemic. I have been a diesel tech for over 2 decades, and right now there are 7 trucks I would tell my own family to grab before the lots clear out this summer. Let's get into it. Before I count them down, here's the thing you need to understand because it explains every price in this video. Ford sold roughly 89,500 diesel pickups in the first quarter of 2026. The quarter before that, they sold over 112,000. That's a massive drop, and Ram and Chevy are seeing the exact same slide. Fewer new diesels going out the door, softer demand, and the federal forecasts have diesel fuel dropping to around $3.50 a gallon this year. When demand cools and fuel gets cheap, used diesel prices follow. That's your window. It will not stay open forever. Number 7. Nissan Titan XD with the 5.0-liter Cummins. This is the truck nobody wanted and everybody should reconsider. Nissan killed this engine after 2019, and the second, a manufacturer orphans a powertrain. The resale value falls off a cliff. People panic. They think orphan means unsupported, unfixable money pit. Here is what they're missing. It's still a Cummins, a real one. A 5-liter turbo diesel V8 that Cummins designed with around 310 horsepower and 555 pound-feet of torque in a half-ton plus chassis that drives like a daily and tows like a workhorse. I had a contractor come in last spring, convinced his Titan XD was about to grenade because a forum told him so. I put it on the lift. 81,000 miles, spotless. The only thing I touched was a fuel filter and an oil change. He had paid $19,500 for it. A comparable Ram 2500 with similar capability would have run him $10,000 more. Right now, you can find clean 2017 and 2018 Titan XD Cummins trucks in the low to mid-20s, and rougher, higher mileage ones dip under $20,000. Who should buy it? Someone who wants diesel torque and fuel economy for towing a boat or a mid-sized trailer, but does not need to pull 30,000 pounds. Who should skip it? If you live somewhere remote where a dealer might struggle to source a specialty part, the orphan status is a real consideration. But for most people, a good independent diesel shop handles everything on these. When you inspect one, check the emission system thoroughly, confirm the diesel exhaust fluid system has no stored codes, and listen for any turbo whine on a cold start. Pass those, and you have a Cummins for sedan money. Number 6. The Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, the 3.0-liter V6. This one depreciates like it owes someone money, and almost all of it is reputation, not reality. Back in 2017, Fiat Chrysler got tangled up in an emissions software scandal with this engine, and the stink of that never washed off in the used market, even though the trucks themselves got sorted out. The result? You get a half-ton truck that returns 27 to 32 miles per gallon on the highway, makes 420 pound-feet of torque, more than the Hemi 5.8 it sat next to, and sells for thousands less than it should. Last year, a nurse came into my shop asking if she was crazy for wanting one. She commuted 90 miles a day. I ran the math for her right there. A gas half-ton at 20 miles per gallon versus this thing at 29 miles per gallon over her commute was saving her real money every single month. She bought a clean 2016 Eco Diesel for around $16,000. The newer third-generation models from 2020 to 2023 bumped torque to 480 pound-feet and ironed out a lot of the early gremlins, and those are sliding into the high 20s and low 30s now. Here is your inspection checklist because this engine has specific weak points. First, ask about the EGR cooler. Some of these had EGR cooler failures, and you want to know if it has been addressed. Second, check the oil cooler for any seepage. Third, confirm every emissions recall and software update has been completed. The paperwork should be in the history. Fourth, smell the oil and check the level. A diesel that has been short-tripped its whole life and never warmed up properly ages faster. Who should buy it? The high-mileage commuter who wants diesel economy without a giant truck. Who should skip it? Anybody planning to tow heavy regularly. This is a light-duty half-ton, not a fifth-wheel hauler. Number 5. The Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon with the 2.8-liter Duramax. This is the most overlooked diesel on the entire used market, and it's a mid-size. Most people don't even know a baby Duramax exists. General Motors dropped a 2.8-liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder into the Colorado and Canyon, and the thing returns over 30 miles per gallon on the highway while still towing around 7,700 pounds. That is a genuinely useful number in a truck you can actually park. I bought one for my own daughter. A 2018 Canyon with the diesel had around 50,000 miles, and I paid just under $23,000 for it. She is a teacher, she camps every summer, and she pulls a small teardrop trailer all over the mountains, getting nearly highway car fuel economy while doing it. In 2 years, the only money that's gone into it is fluids and a set of tires. The little Duramax is built by VM Motori. It's a proven design, and because it lives in a mid-size that nobody cross-shops against the big trucks, the prices stay quietly low. Clean examples from 2016 to 2022 run anywhere from the low 20s in price to around $30,000, depending on year and miles. When you look at one, the inspection priorities shift a bit for the small diesel. First, confirm the diesel exhaust fluid heater and the emission system are functioning. The small Duramax can be fussy about those components if they have been neglected. Second, check the timing belt service history. This engine uses a belt, not a chain, and it has a replacement interval you must respect. That is the one big maintenance item. Skipping it is how you ruin the engine. Third, test the four-wheel drive engagement in a parking lot. Put it into full lock and make a slow circle, listening for binding. Who should buy it? Campers, commuters, and anyone who wants diesel range and economy without a barge. Who should skip it? Serious haulers. This is a mid-size truck, and it has mid-size limits. Number 4. The Ford F-250 6.7 Power Stroke, first generation, from 2011 to 2016. Now we're getting into the real heavy-duty stuff, and this is the cheapest legitimate path into a serious diesel truck right now. After Ford's disastrous run with the 6.0 and 6.4 Power Stroke engines, they went back to the drawing board and built the 6.7 in-house, and it was redemption. Strong, durable, and depending on the year, it made anywhere from 390 to 440 horsepower and up to 925 pound-feet of torque. The data right now shows the older first-generation Super Duties depreciating the hardest of any year, which is exactly why this is on the list. A landscaper I've known for years was about to overpay for a newer truck when I pointed him at a 2015 F-250 with the 6.7, around 90,000 miles, for $26,000. He pulls a loaded equipment trailer 6 days a week. 18 months later, the only thing it needed beyond fluids and brakes was a set of glow plugs. You can find clean first-generation 6.7 Super Duties from the low 20s up to the mid-30s, with the very early 2011 models being the cheapest entry point. Here is the single most important inspection on this truck, and I want you to write it down: the CP4 fuel pump. The first generation 6.7 used a Bosch CP4.2 high-pressure pump, and when those fail, they can send metal debris through the entire fuel system. It is a known issue. Ford settled lawsuits over it, and a catastrophic failure is an expensive repair. So before you buy, have a diesel shop pull a fuel sample and inspect it for any metal contamination. Ask whether a disaster prevention kit or a pump upgrade has been installed. Second, check the radiator and the coolant. These can develop cooling issues if neglected. Third, scan for any emissions codes and confirm the DEF system is healthy. Who should buy it? The working person who needs maximum truck for minimum money. Who should skip it? Anyone unwilling to do a proper pre-purchase inspection, because on these, the inspection is everything. Number 3, the GMC Sierra 2500 HD and Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD with the LML Duramax from 2011 to 2016. If you want the smoothest, quietest, heavy-duty diesel experience for the money, this is it. And the reason is 2 letters and a number, the Allison transmission. General Motors pairs the Duramax with an Allison-built automatic, and that combination has a reputation in the trucking world that borders on legendary. The LML Duramax of this era makes around 397 horsepower and 765 pound-feet of torque, and it just works. I've serviced dozens of these. A rancher brought one in at over 200,000 miles. Original engine, original transmission, still towing cattle trailers. He wanted to know what to fix. I told him to keep doing exactly what he was doing. That Allison is the secret weapon, because a transmission failure is what ends most diesel trucks, and the Allison simply refuses to quit when it's maintained. Clean 2500 HD Duramax trucks from this generation run roughly the high 20s into the low 40s, depending on trim and miles. Same critical warning as the Ford though, so listen up. The LML Duramax also used the Bosch CP4 fuel pump. Same risk, same inspection. Pull a fuel sample, look for contamination, and ask about any preventative upgrades. Second, service that Allison. Drop the pan, check the fluid, and confirm it has been changed on schedule, because that transmission is the heart of this truck. Third, inspect the emissions hardware and the DEF system for stored faults. Who should buy it? Someone who tows regularly and wants the most refined, drama-free, heavy-duty experience. Who should skip it? If you're chasing the absolute lowest purchase price, the first-generation Ford undercuts it. But for total ownership, peace of mind, that Allison earns its keep. This next one is the truck I would put my own money on today, and almost everyone hesitates before they drive one. If these honest breakdowns are helping you shop smarter, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I have more videos coming on the exact trucks dealers push versus the ones that actually make sense. Number 2, the Ford F-250 and F-350 6.7. Power Stroke, second generation, 2017 to 2019. This is the first generation's grown-up sibling, and the demand drop I mentioned at the start is hitting Ford the hardest, which means these are softening fast. The second generation 6.7 Power Stroke jumped to 925 and then 935 pound-feet of torque, got a refined transmission, and built on everything Ford learned from the first run. It's a genuinely modern, capable, comfortable, heavy-duty truck, and for the first time in a while, the prices are within reach. A guy who hauls a big fifth-wheel camper came to me, sure he needed to spend $50,000 on something newer. I walked him over to a 2018 F-250 with a 6.7, around 70,000 miles, listed in the upper 30s. Same engine family, same towing muscle, tens of thousands less than the new truck he was eyeing. The average selling price on these has been drifting down as inventory builds, and clean second-generation diesel Super Duty trucks now sit roughly in the mid-30s to mid-40s, where a year ago they were noticeably higher. Inspection is the same discipline as the first generation, because these still ran the CP4 pump. Pull a fuel sample, check for metal, and ask about preventative work. Beyond that, scan the truck for any open recalls, test every function of the infotainment and the trailer brake controller, and on a test drive, get it up to highway speed under light throttle and feel for any shudder or hesitation in the transmission. Who should buy it? Anyone who tows heavy and wants a modern truck without the new truck price. Who should skip it? If your towing needs are light, this is more truck than you need. And the smaller diesels earlier in this list will save you fuel and money. Number 1, The Ram 2500 with the 6.7 Cummins, 2014 to 2018. This is the one. If I had to buy a single diesel truck right now to keep for the next decade, this is what I'd drive off the lot. And I want to tell you exactly why, because the reason is something most buyers never even think to check. The 6.7 Cummins is an inline six. Fewer moving parts than a V8, simpler architecture, and a reputation for outlasting the trucks they are bolted into. People talk about Cummins engines going 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles, and in my shop, that's not a legend, that's a Tuesday. But here's the detail that puts this specific range, 2014 to 2018, at number 1, and it's the thing I check before anything else. Through 2018, the 6.7 Cummins used the Bosch CP3 high-pressure fuel pump, the CP3, not the CP4 that I warned you about on the Ford and the Duramax. The CP3 is the older, simpler, far more durable pump, and it does not have the catastrophic self-destruction problem that plagues the CP4. Ram switched to the CP4 in 2019. So this exact window, the 6.7 Cummins built before 2019, gives you the most reliable fuel system, the most proven engine, and a price that's finally coming back to earth. That is not a coincidence I'm pointing out. That is the whole reason this truck is number 1. I'll tell you about the customer who argued with me about this. She'd been looking at a newer truck, sure that newer meant better. I showed her my own logbook on a 2016 Ram 2500 Cummins. A client of mine has run to 140,000 miles. Total non-maintenance repair spending in all those miles under $3,000. She bought a 2016 Laramie with the Cummins for around $32,000, a truck that's stickered near 60 new. She texted me last month at 140,000 miles. 0 engine issues. Her words, "Why is nobody talking about this?" Let's talk numbers, because this is where it lands. The Ram 2500 Cummins of this era ranges from roughly the high 20s into the low 40s depending on trim and mileage, and the softening market is pulling those numbers down right now. Compare that to what these trucks cost new, near $60,000, and what the equivalent brand new diesel costs today, well past $70,000, and the value is almost insulting. Your inspection checklist on the King. First, confirm the year. You want it from before 2019 for that CP3 pump. That is non-negotiable for me. Second, this is a heavy-duty truck that was likely used for heavy duty, so inspect the suspension, the steering components, and look hard for any towing abuse. Sagging rear springs or a beat-up hitch tell a story. Third, check service records on the transmission and the emission system, because a neglected DEF system on any modern diesel is where the surprise bills come from. Fourth, and this is my pro tip across every truck on this list, find one owned by a single owner who kept records and did not modify it. A bone stock, well-documented Cummins is worth paying a little more for. Who should buy it? Honestly, almost anyone shopping for a serious diesel. It tows enormous loads. It lasts essentially forever with maintenance. And the fuel system in this specific year range is the best of the bunch. Who should skip it? If you only need a daily driver with good mileage and never tow, this is far more truck than you need. Go back up this list to the Eco Diesel or the little Duramax Colorado. But if you want one diesel to own for the next 10 years, this is the one I would buy without a second thought. So there they are. 7 diesel trucks the cooling market just made affordable, and a window that closes the moment demand ticks back up. The orphaned Titan XD that's still a real Cummins. The Eco Diesel that depreciated on reputation instead of reality. The midsize Colorado and Canyon Duramax nobody knows exists. The first generation Power Stroke that's the cheapest way into a real heavy-duty diesel. The Duramax 2500 HD with the unkillable Allison behind it. The modern second generation Super Duty that's softening faster than any of them. And the King, the Ram 2500 Cummins, built before 2019 with the CP3 fuel pump that makes it the smartest diesel buy on the lot. Now you know the 7. You also know the inspection that separates a great buy from a money pit. And you know the one fuel pump detail that 90% of buyers walk right past. Next time you're standing in front of a diesel and the salesman starts talking, you'll know more than he does. If you want to see the diesel engines that have earned outright legendary status in my shop, the ones that simply refuse to die, I made a whole video on that, and it's right here. That's over 2 decades of turning wrenches on these trucks. Hit subscribe, and I'll keep giving you the truth the dealerships won't. Drive safe, take care of your diesel, and it'll take care of you for the next 500,000 miles. I'll see you in the next one.